point, we've seen classes that we've been using to implement React components, yes? And right now, they are returning things that are static, right? That we can't parameterize it, we can't customize them, right? They're always returning the same HTML, and we want to be able to parameterize them. We need for them to be able to perhaps receive arguments, right? So that they can behave depending on data they can accept. So here's a really simple example of a static component that we've seen already. So the hello world, we converted it into a component. There it is. And it's returning the static content of hello world. Okay. And we've rendered it by providing it perhaps at the top level component, or like we did here, just rendering it by itself, right? So how do we parameterize these components? So one thing that we're going to introduce now is that all components, right, since they are classes, they can behave just like you would expect any other class in any other programming language, right? They have a constructor, they might have a destructor, they might have all sorts of life cycle functions, right? That depending on whether they're being instantiated or they're being decommissioned, right? Different life cycle functions are invoked. Yes, right? So same thing here. The component, being a class, right, has a constructor function called constructor. Okay, and this constructor, because our class is extending the component here, right? The constructor actually has a specific signature, right? It takes one argument, right? It takes, well, at least one argument. And here the argument is a props argument. You can call it whatever you want, but usually we refer to it as the properties, right? These are the configuration properties of this component. Right? And once you receive these properties, you then notify your parent class, which is the components. You notify it of the properties that were passed to you when you were instantiated. Yes, right? And properties is what is going to allow us to talk to the outside world. It's what connects a component with wherever the context that it's being rendered in, right? So for instance, somebody might pass our message component, might pass it a property called message, right? And then we can dynamically render that message using this weird syntax over here, okay? So what's happening here is that the properties are being passed to you, right? Usually these properties come in the form of a JavaScript map, name value pair, yes? And then those name value pairs are available as part of the instance of the class, right? Which you can access through the this property. So this, like you would expect in Java and in any other programming language, refers to the current instance that you're in. And when you do super props, what the components does, your parents haven't received props, it ties this property map, it ties it to the current instance. So that then by the time you get to the render, you can access this.props. And in there, it's a map. It's a map which you're going to have many name value pairs. In this particular case, you have a message that is being passed to you as an argument. Okay, make sense? Right. The other thing that we're introducing here is these funny looking curly brackets over here. Right? So this funny looking curly brackets allows us to inject dynamic content in line with the rest of the content. Right? Normally, our message, just like our hello, would say H1 hard-coded hello world. Yes? Okay? Right. So we are replacing something that is hard-coded. We are replacing it with something that is dynamic. And the way we can do this is by using this curly bracket syntax, which is kind of, it's an escape character. It's saying, hey, HTML, 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 HTML. Ah, wait a minute. Now it's JavaScript. And then this stops, the JavaScript stops here, and then I'm back into HTML. Make sense? This allows us to go back and forth seamlessly between the JavaScript world and the HTML world. All right?
Hi everyone, Jose here. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a like. If you're new here, please subscribe. If you have any questions or suggestions, make sure to leave a comment down below. Bye.